I pay pro editors $300 to create a 2-minute video edit. The first one cost me $100 and the second one cost me $200. That way you can compare the differences and see exactly what you can get for different price ranges. I will react to them live and see which one I actually prefer. And I have nothing but respect for these editors because they are the ones who are working really hard behind the screens and make my life as a content creator so much easier. So to show my appreciation, you'll find the link to all of these editors down below so you can hire them yourself. Fiverr is the best place to find high quality freelance services, from video editing to setting up a website or a Discord server. You can use my code GOATED to get a sweet discount for your first order on Fiverr. Now you might be wondering, David, why are you paying $300 for a 2-minute edit? Well, I recently launched my language coaching program where I teach my students how to become fluent in Vietnamese, German, or English in just a couple of weeks. And I get hundreds of DMs from my followers asking me about this language coaching program. So instead of wasting my time and answering all of these one by one, I thought it might be smarter to create just one video that explains everything they need to know in just 2 minutes. Which is why, to save my precious time, this investment is more than worth it. So without further ado, let's dive right into this. I'll first show you guys a clip of the reference video that I sent to my editors so that they know what kind of style I'm looking for.
Do you know where the most valuable piece of real estate is? Graveyards. Because there's billion-dollar ideas sitting in the ground from people that never took action. I want you to close your eyes for a second and imagine you are sitting in a room with a billionaire. What would you ask them? What would you want to learn from them?
So without further ado, let's dive right into the very first video, which is the $100 video. And I'm really excited for this one because this is actually from a pro Fiverr editor, so they really know what they're doing. Alright, let's get right into this. Have you ever felt stuck learning a new language? Maybe you've tried apps like Duolingo, online courses, or even traditional... Ooh, I already like the animations and the fonts. It looks really clean. That's pretty good. In classes. But no matter what, you still struggle to speak fluently. You understand small words, but when it's time to have an actual conversation, your mind just goes blank. Don't worry, you're not alone. Ooh, yeah. Also, you could see that they use a very, like a rising sound. I think it's absolutely crucial for professional video editors to know how to use background noises. All right, let's keep going. Alone. In fact, I used to struggle with exactly the same problem. I spent years wasting my time and money on resources that actually didn't bring me any progress. Just like in school, learning languages wasn't really fun to me because I sat there with my huge-ass textbook and just tried to pump in as many. Okay, so this part I think is kind of long, so they show the same B-roll clip and my head on top, and then just like a lot of captions on the side. I think it could have been a little shorter, but yeah, it's still interesting to see their style of video editing. Many words and grammatical concepts as possible. So eventually I got so sick of that I came up with a fun, fast, and useful way to acquire like that little text animation behind my head. Any new language, which I call the polyglot method. I went from speaking only Vietnamese to now being able to speak Vietnamese, German, English, Spanish, Korean. Okay, for here, they put the languages that I know in captions on the screen. I think it would have been a little bit better if they would have broken up the pattern here instead of just using captions and use icons or like flags, you know, of the different languages that I speak. And a little bit of French. Okay, so here the French, I think it's kind of funny with a cat. However, for a professional video, I probably wouldn't have used a cat like that. I mean, it's kind of funny and it's a laid-back vibe, but I told them I want to have a professional introduction edit. So yeah, probably I would probably improve that. And I get hundreds of DMs every single day from my okay, here you can see that like they used a screenshot that I provided them, but I really like the yellowish thing behind the screenshot. So I don't know, it kind of makes it look a little bit cheaper on this side. That's just my personal preference. Followers asking me if I can teach them how I personally did it, which is why I recently launched my polyglot program. In that mentorship program, I literally help you out to go beyond boring ass textbooks and apps so that you can speak to native speakers with confidence. Understand native speak. All right, there's a small thing right here. So in the first line, speak to native speakers confidently, you can see that there's a bigger gap between the word speak and to. So they probably put too many spaces in between these two words. Yeah, just a small thing, but I noticed it immediately. Speakers without subtitles, and finally break free from the fear of making mistakes. But don't just take my word for it. Here are honest opinions of some of my most recent students. Take Leah, for example, whose parents are partially Vietnamese. Okay, I really like that type of animation where you know, I'm in this like bubble and then you can see my student and me teaching them, so they made pretty good use of that. Vietnamese. However, since she was born in France, she didn't speak Vietnamese at all. After trying out a bunch of apps and traditional courses, she finally got... Okay, so again here, I think it would have been a little bit better to break up the pattern and maybe show some sort of B-roll animation because it's still the same sort of frame that they showed before. And for the viewer, it might get a little boring at this stage. Got sick of it and signed up for my mentorship program. After 6 weeks of being in my program, she literally went from speaking zero Vietnamese to now being able to speak, write, and read in Vietnamese. Or Tony, who signed up because he finally wanted to be able to speak fluently in. Okay, for here, they just took his Instagram page and did a screen recording, which I think is fine, but I would have probably preferred a more professional looking animation or something like that. In English. He was so tired of attending traditional. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. This type of animation. Traditional courses in person because they're just so slow and boring. He wanted to have a fun and useful. Again, they should have broken up the pattern right here because as you can see from Tony, my student, they just used the same clip over and over again and kind of repeated. So yeah, that's something that I would definitely improved. Experience in learning English, which is exactly what he gets inside my program. And if I, Leah, and Tony can do it, then so can you. And since I'm working one-on-one with each of my students, spots in this program are limited. So I'm currently taking in 5 new people who want to find. Yeah, what I realized about this sort of editor is they make really good use of the captions. However, I think sometimes it's too much or like it's always the same. So I would probably try to switch it up again. Yeah, more breaks in the patterns would have been a lot better for this video. Although like it's still like a 7 or an 8 out of 10 to be honest. Finally master one of the languages that I oh yeah, that's when they did it with the flex. That's what I really like about that instead of captions. More of that. Personally mastered. So if you're ready to finally become fluent, book a call with me personally and let's find out if you're a good fit for the program. Can't wait to get you to fluency and I'll see you very soon. Okay, I think that video was really good overall. And for $100, I think that's pretty decent. But I'm really excited for the second edit and how it performs in comparison to this one. Because I literally paid double the price. So I also expect double the quality if possible. All right, let's jump right into this. Have you ever felt stuck learning a new language? Maybe you've tried apps like Duolingo, online courses, or even traditional. Ooh, I really like the animation so far. This looks really, really professional. Wow. Classes. But no matter what, you still struggle to speak fluently. You understand small words, but when it's time to have an actual... That's nice, that's nice. What I already noticed is that they switch up a lot between animations and captions instead of the first edit, which focused more on just captions and a little bit of b-roll. So that's what I really positively like about the second one already. Conversation, your mind just goes blank. Don't worry, you're not alone. In fact, I used to struggle with exactly the same problem. I spent years wasting my time and money on resources that actually didn't bring me any progress. These are some clean animations, to be honest, that really enhance my message and where I don't think that the viewer might lose retention or attention. Just like in school, learning languages wasn't really fun to me because I sat there with my huge ass textbook and just tried to pump in as many words. Oh yeah, I really like that animation where I say pump in a lot of words. They actually, visualize that by putting words into my brain. Words and grammatical concepts as possible. So eventually I got so sick of that I came up with a fun, fast, and useful way to acquire any new language, which I call the polyglot method. Oh yeah, that's very detailed here, but the man you see in this video is actually a very famous polyglot on YouTube. That's a very cool way to underline the polyglot method that I'm talking about here. I went from speaking only Vietnamese to now being able to speak Vietnamese, German, English. Damn, yeah, that's what I like. That's what I like about the second edit. Like, they did do it with captions, but also with the flags. If you remember what I said about the first edit, I would have loved to see a pattern break, which is what they kind of do right here with more, icons and the flags. Spanish, Korean, and a little bit of French, un peu. And I get hundreds of DMs every single day from my followers asking me if I can teach them how I personally did it. Which is why I recently launched my polyglot. Ooh, yeah, this looks really professional. I freaking like this one. Program. In that mentorship program, I literally help you out to go beyond boring ass textbooks and apps so that you can speak to native speakers with confidence, understand native speakers without sub. Yo, this is low-key like Iman Ghazi type of edit. It's like I really like these animations because it just like switches it up, right? It's not always the same with the captions. It's kind of different. It always makes the viewer more engaged. Subtitles and finally break free from the fear of making mistakes. But don't just take my word for it. Here are honest opinions of some of my most recent students. Take Leah, for example, whose parents are partially Vietnamese. Yo, yeah, they do everything well that I mentioned from the first edit. Like, they show a little bit of the student b-roll and then they put in some animation of her story, right? This was kind of missing in the first edit in my opinion. Since she was born in France, she didn't speak Vietnamese at all. After 6 weeks of being in my program, she literally went from speaking zero Vietnamese to now being able to speak, write, and read in Vietnamese. Or Tony, who signed up because he finally wanted to be able to speak fluently in English. He was so tired of attending traditional courses in person because they're just so slow and boring. He wanted to have a fun and useful experience. The little Joker, you know, B-roll is kind of cool too. Experience in learning English, which is exactly what he gets inside my program. And if I, Leah, and Tony can do it, then so can you. And since I'm working one-on-one with each of my students, spots like the animations. Freaking fan of these animations. This is fire. Spots in this program are limited. So I'm currently taking in 5 new people who want to finally master one of the languages that I personally mastered. So if you're ready to find... Yeah, this is also really cool. Like animation of booking a call with me in the calendar. I think in the first edit they just put captions, but again here they actually show the interface of how it would look like to book a call with me, right? Finally become fluent, book a call with me personally, and let's find out if you're a good fit for the program. Can't wait to get you to fluency, and I'll see you very soon. Nice. Wait, this second edit was crazy. Actually, yeah, I think that was actually worth it to pay $200 for the second edit. Yo, honestly, out of these two, I do prefer the second edit, if I'm gonna be honest. But also keep in mind that I actually paid $200, so double the price of the first edit, which was also really professional and clean. I just like that in the second edit, they do use more pattern breaks. It's not just focused on a lot of captions, a little bit of B-roll, but they also add in a lot of animations, captions, B-roll, all in all, and also the sound effects. They've used more of that if you listen to that again, and it just makes the overall video, I think, a little bit more convincing to the viewer, as well as a little bit more entertaining to the viewer to watch the entire video, right? Which is ultimately the goal of this video, so that people book a call with me and join my language course. But tell me in the comments which one you prefer, and show a lot of appreciation and love to both of these editors. I actually want to show love and respect to both of these editors because both of them did a great job. I would personally prefer the second one probably. Also, I paid a little bit more. And if you want to get the video editing to the next level, click the link in the description box below and hire one of these editors if you actually like them. If you found this video helpful, you might want to check out this video where I paid Fiverr editors $400 to create a 2-minute sales video. Peace.